Hey YouTube, what's up? Dr. T here, and welcome to the Altcoin Express and my hometown of St. Petersburg, Florida.
So, in this section, we will deal with all things pertaining to artificial intelligence, otherwise known as AI.
So this is my SensorWorld project, which is going to be moving up from Q-learning and reinforcement learning to ultimately deep reinforcement learning, where we'll be applying one of the various algorithms that's appropriate. This is the world that does have a goal and a pit, and the agent starts here, and he'll see nothing in the beginning, and it will start off and wander around and find out where it is, and the code currently is up to it just detecting these walls and moving to here. So we will go through the agent moving, and then we'll move on to the code. So we need to shut this thing down, and we'll activate the agent, and it's up on my GitHub, so I'll be putting this code up on the at the bottom of this post. And I'll show you. We'll run the agent, and this is its original world. It puts out its sensors, detects the walls, sees the walls, and moves. And progressively it will then go through other loops where it will wander around and detect all these other points, and all this visionary will come into being. So that's that, and we can pop over to GitHub where the code is. So it's called Smooth Movement, because that's the original world, and the grid, which we just looked at, this is the code for the grid. It has specials for the green, red, blue and grey blocks. It has horizontal lines, vertical lines, and the walls that get put in that it detects are put in the various segments for the different states, and there are 9 states. And then we go to, and this is the world without anything in, because that's where it's going to start off when we call this in, and that's where it starts off on. And the movement, we'll do this in reverse. So we'll activate the movement, it'll set a global current state, and it'll call in the start world. It'll recognize that the current state is state 1, and we're going to do through a loop of 1, and it'll call the robot. So the robot's going to start in the beginning world when we get there. So here's the robot code. So it's going to recognize which state it's in, because it's told what state it's in, and then we're going to selectively give it coordinates and data given on the state. So the state's going to equal whatever it is, and then we'll move on to the generic robot and its sensors, which is just the oval plus the red blocks. So this is the generic algorithm for putting those in and where it can be moved everywhere. Then we'll activate the sensors, and there are 4 blocks of sensors. So this is a displacement algorithm for enabling you to do that everywhere. So those activate, and then once it's done that, it will detect the walls, and the walls will be put in. And once it's done that, I couldn't get it to stop and do it with a time delay. It just won't do that. So then it will then just switch up all its beams, and that's the end of that phase. And we'll come down to the robot having done its detection of the walls, and then we'll come into, we're going to identify some data such we know where to move it from and to, and we'll run a while loop, and we'll then offset the agent to move one step at a time down this pathway using this while loop to move the agent. And that's where it is right now, and variously that will then go on to the next step, and so on and so forth. So that's the current level of the code, and this is as I said, it's going to be a deep reinforcement learning algorithm, which will combine reinforcement learning and neural networks. So there you go.